Hey guys, welcome back to City Skylines. Welcome back to our first city together. Today we've got a couple of fixes we need to make from the last episode, as well as we're going to do a little bit more detailing here, kind of in our older district. Turn on Dale Square here so we can see the district names. Do a little bit more detailing, get it feeling a little bit more like an old town. Um, this is not Clearly this is not part of that plan. I think that's a legacy building from before we had districts available to us. So first things first, last episode we kind of went through here and we set up our municipal center. But when we did that, we relocated some buildings that we now need to be able to zone for. So let's go ahead and get our zoning in here. We'll get that squared away, get that filled in. And then we came through and we made this larger part of Crescent Square. But one of the things we didn't do was run water pipes down there, and we have to also fix some of our water pipes. So let's go ahead and get those taken care of real quick. All right, now that we have our water pipes kind of squared away, um, I think it's fair to say we can go ahead and start filling in this area with some residential. We have some demand for it. We have some demand for industrial, but I think the residential fill here will feel pretty nice. We're not going to fill in all of it just yet, but I do think we'll fill in most of it here. And you know what? Yeah, we'll just go ahead and at least fill in the larger blocks. We'll come back and fill in the smaller ones in a little bit as demand needs it. So, missed you, you, and you. Perfect. All right, so let that run and fill in. Um, One of the things we tried in last episode as well was to give this school some form of front covering for the students. It really doesn't feel like this is the front entrance to the building, but as you kind of look around, there really doesn't seem to be a front. I guess if there were a front, it would be this one more than anything, but since it attaches to the road over here, it feels like this should be the front. So I went to try and find some like awning style assets, awning, just to see if we could come up with something. Let's turn on our prop anarchy. We're gonna pause while we do this so that we don't have buildings um, with trees going through them. So we have a couple of different styles here. Let's see. That one's not bad. We put that up there. Let's tweak it just a hair. Yeah, that one's not too bad. I think we'll put that there. That at least gives, the appearance of an entrance to this building here. We have a number of other different things that we can put in. Wasn't 100% sure which ones we would need, but I don't know. I don't know that we'll go through and use any of the other ones just yet. Um, we have a single car one. Now this one might not have been too bad. Flip it around, put it up against the building, but it wouldn't have sat without that pole in the middle. So, but I think that at least gives a little bit more character to the front of the building. Makes it at least a little more indicative of an entryway. And then I'm pretty sure I have. Let's see here. Pretty sure I have signs for the schools. Well, maybe not. Oh, nope. Well, here we go. City Elementary School sign. So, if we put that in there. And then we'll come down here and put it on the other side as well. And then I think I have a high school sign. So we'll come over here and we'll put our high school sign right there. And we'll do the same thing here. So I think that gives it, you know, at least adds that effect to it. And we don't want to forget about our first elementary school. Don't want to leave it in the dust. So come down here, much like we did with the other one, put our elementary school signs in at either side of the bus road. Perfect. All right, so let's turn off our tree anarchy again. And let's see. So those were kind of just some tweaks that I wanted to make last episode. Didn't quite have what we needed to be able to do that. Really happy with being able to do that. I think it adds just a fair bit more character to the area. We'll come through and decorate in a little bit more trees and things like that. So another thing that we were going to do was come through here and kind of give this a more, I don't know, old school feel. These roads are pretty heavy roads for, you know, just a general area like this. And especially since this is kind of more like the old town, I was thinking we'd give it something to feel that way. And where I grew up, I didn't live on it until I was older. There was a brick road, a couple of brick roads in town, and so I think I want to add a few of those. And I think what we'll do is we'll add it kind of off the main roadway there, and then it kind of comes straight down here and into the school area. You know, and I think that adds a little bit of kind of cool feel to the city. And, you know, it's a very unique trait to this part of the city. And so we'll add a few more of those in, not necessarily randomly. You know, again, this one comes, you know, off of where the city center is. I think, you know, especially with the school, we'll do another one kind of up around where the school is, because schools are kind of a focal point of any community. So we'll bring this one over as well, and we can bring this in like that. And I think that just, you know, those roads just give a little more character, a little more feel to the community. But we also want to take away those lines. While it's nice to have those roads to start out with, I don't really feel like they're appropriate for this area. There's not that much traffic to require lines on the road. Let's see here. Do I not have? I may not actually have it yet. Let's see. Does not appear that I have the road without lines. Do we have? We do have this one though. So 2-lane country lane. We can come back through and upgrade, or we can use this rural road. We can come through and upgrade our roadways with the roads I actually have in mind at a later time. No, there we go. That's a little bit wider. And this here will not affect our zoning, so I think that's pretty appropriate for the area. So let's go through and get this taken care of. All right, so I think that adds a little bit more feel to the area. You know, they're paved roads, but they're not lined paved roads. There's not much we can do about the crossing. That's just the way the roads interact with one another. We could come through and brick them. So if we brick, let's see, let's go back here. Let's grab our brick road. See what happens. Yeah, see, that's not too bad. we can come through here and brick the interconnecting streets. Kind of take away that and give it a more seamless feel. Make it look a little nicer without actually having to go through and do the entire community. All right, and we'll do that. We'll do that. That transition is just a little bit nicer of a transition. So this is kind of the original Old Town area. And then we need to come in here. Let's make sure our theme is set correctly. All right, yep, historic small town and historic small town business. So what that does is that gives us the more square looking, brick looking buildings. And then we need to go through here and clear out some of these that really aren't a fit. So this will have a hit on our population, as well as our RCI meter. But I think when we're done, it will look a lot better having those buildings in place that I'd originally planned to have in there. So bear with me while we go through and kind of clear out some of the commercial buildings and then go through and clear out some of the residential buildings that don't really fit, you know, that type of aesthetic that we're really trying to go for here. All right, so I went ahead and just got rid of all the residents, simply because I felt like as I was going through with the grid sizes of some of the homes, when what I have in that theme pack, I didn't really feel like we were going to get a good replenishment of those empty spaces. So rather than go through and try and pinpoint and be more surgical about it, I felt like it was just easier just to cut it all out and allow the homes to come back naturally on their own. Now, obviously, we're going to have to wait until this area over here completes filling in before this starts to fill in, but I think we can address something else, and that is our industrial need while we're waiting on that to do that, as well as drive up that RCI demand for residents. So if we come in here and let's see, we do not have, let's go ahead, and we actually have an industrial theme district as well. I'm not going to be as specific with getting rid of some of the buildings that are in here already as I was with the residents. It's industrial. I'm not really that particular about trying to make sure it looks a certain way. There we go. All right, so we'll call this First Industrial Park. And we'll come in here and give it its theme. Let's move you out of the way. Enable Theme Manager, and we have Industrial. All right, so let's come in here and grab some industry. And let's go ahead and just fill in here. And one of the things this area is going to need, although I'm not so sure we need it right now. We don't have enough traffic really, and there's enough time for the fire department to get over, but we'll eventually have to add city services into this area so they can be more readily available should there be fire, crime, things like that. All right, so next thing I want to do is come in here and get rid of some of the vehicle access that we have. If you look, you know, you've got cars that are coming down here, and that's perfectly fine. But if we were to have any sort of commercial traffic, like let's say this semi wanted to come down and go out this way and he was coming from that way, um, he would come in here and you would have a significant amount of industrial truck traffic, rather than you just want it to be mostly civilian traffic. So let's come in here to traffic manager and let's take our vehicle access and let's turn off our truck traffic. This just helps ensure that no trucks decide to use this as a shortcut to where they're going, because we definitely do not want truck traffic in any of these areas. We'll just hit our shift key there and get rid of it along the whole way. And I know this is probably a little overkill for what this area is, but I really do want to make sure that we don't have any heavy trucks using this area. They're just going to congest, and quite frankly, they're unnecessary. Now, for this path over here, I actually want to remove all access except for emergency vehicles and trash. I don't want anybody else. I want this to essentially be treated as a walking path rather than a driving path. So we're going to come through here and we're going to get rid of anything else besides trash and emergency services. So let's get rid of you. And that took care of you. All right. This just makes it primarily a pedestrian area, and hopefully they'll park in the parking lot and they'll use that instead, which would be fantastic. Oops, I do want to have recycling there. All right, so that allows all manner of vehicles through there, but then only pedestrians and emergency services and city services up there. So let's see, you know what? Let's come back here. Let's do the same thing over here, except here we're going to allow buses and cars. So we're just going to take away like taxi service and heavy trucks. There we go. And we'll need to do the same thing to our other school over here. So we do not want heavy trucks or taxi on any of these roads. All right, perfect. And then that way, if we want to run a bus route, we can actually run that route through the school, make it look like I even have some school buses for buses so that we can, if we wanted to do that, we'd be able to do that as well. All right, so now that we have that in place, I'm going to speed up the game a little bit and we're going to run to kind of see where our demand meters fall now that we've kind of cleared out our residents, added more residential, and added some industrial over here, because I believe what's going to happen is we're going to end up with a fair amount of commercial demand, and I'd like to put like a commercial center out here in this area and along this tree line. So let's speed this up, let the game run for a second, and we'll come back and see where our demands give us our next step. All right, so I've let this run for a little while, and as you can see, it started to fill in quite nicely. But while it was running, one of the things that kind of occurred to me was that while we did something with the roadways over here, we didn't do anything with the roadways over here or the main road. And to be honest, a 6-lane road here seems fairly significant for the population of 4,000. I don't really think we'd have quite that scale of roadway. So I think what we want to do is we want to come in and change, at least from the bridge in through town. We can worry about the bridge and the rest of the larger roadway network later. But I think we definitely want to change, these interior roads, as well as change, this roadway coming in here. So I was looking through my roadways, and one of the things I had forgotten that I had downloaded was this historic Main Street. So we have a contemporary Main Street, and then we have this historic Main Street. And I really like the look of this historic Main Street because of the brick lining and as well as the tree lining. So in thinking of that, I thought, well, if this is the roadway leading up to the city center, then we probably would want to have this roadway be our historic roadway. So if we change this here, yes, we do have the lines on it, and I think for the most part I'm okay with that, because I think this roadway looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's got the little divots for the sidewalk. It's got the brick paving. It's got these phenomenal 3-post lamps, or three light lamps, and I think that looks really nice in this area. Let's turn on and get a clearer look at it here. As well as it's got the trees with the little planters at the bottom. So I think this roadway looks really good for this area and what we were trying to achieve with it. So I think we'll make that one change there. The rest of it we'll leave the same. I think that roadway would be upgraded, and then I want to find a better roadway for our 6-lane roads here. So let's take a look and see what we have available to us. And we may not have a whole lot available to us, but I still think we would want to change that roadway. And we're getting close to having some of our better roadways available to us. So for the time being, I think we'll change it. We'll add a 4-lane road, and we'll set that in with all of these to kind of add a little bit more character, small town feel going on here. So let's get these changed. I think out here we'll kind of transition it away from the grass into the concrete, into the trees, and I think that's a lot better feel for a town as small as this. So then, in looking at our roads here, we're going to come back in, and I don't think we're going to run any more brick roads. I don't really see the need to continue the brick over here, but I would like to have something a little more modern in this area, since we have a little bit more modern of a building style. So I think we're going to do our big suburb, but we're going to do our Warren. So these are nice because they not only do they have the sidewalks, but they also have the grass in between. And I think that looks really good. And then the Warren just kind of gives it a more used looking feel, because the city's not going to take care of the roadways, at least where I live, until they absolutely have to. And I think we'll have something special for the highway road as well. So let's plop these in real quick. All right, and I think that is all of them. So with this road here, going around the high school, I think I would like to make this also our historic Main Street, but I think we'll use our contemporary Main Street. Seems a little more fitting for the type of roadway that it is, and in the area that it's. Oh, let's pause real quick. We're going to turn off our collision. We don't want to lose anything we've got going on there. All right, we can turn it back on and resume. And I think it just gives a much nicer, better feel to the city, as well as this is going to be a high trafficked road. So we'll just bring this all the way down to the end here. And then I think the same thing can be said for the road running out here along the shoreline, I think we'll see a fair amount of traffic going through this roadway over here. So we'll get this finished up here real quick. And I think it's gonna it really just adds something to the look and feel of the area. That's a much nicer roadway. Now, one of the things I want to do is I do want to, let's square up our intersections along here just to make sure they look appropriate. Oh, and looks like we actually missed a spot here. There we go. Back in and finish squaring up our intersection. And not all of them are too bad. We do have a couple, like here. And this is because that exists. Let's see if we can get you. There we go. And then we'll grab you. And I think we're going to come back and we'll use our curved road tool with road guidelines. And we'll just get this. We'll just get this fixed real quick. There we go. All right. Back into node controller. Oh, that's better already. I think it just looks worlds better with this going on. Yeah. And especially in areas like this where, you know, oh, no, it's not, see, that one. Let's see if we can fix that. What do we got to do to fix that? Not you. Maybe you. There. Oh, nope. Still have a little bit. Let's see if we bring you. Oh, we might not be able to fix that little spot. Let's see. Can we bring you back? How about forward? There we go. But then we got this one too. So let's see if we bring you. I think there we can live with a little bit of imperfection. See, now I feel like maybe not. So let's see if we can get this fixed. All right, so you need to be there. If we bring, yeah, if we slide that back, that fixes it. There we go. All right, and next one, square you up. Looks pretty good. Let's see, are you gonna do the same thing? No? Oh, you did get some, we did have some stretching here though. So we might not be able to get this one exactly the way I'd like. There we go. But I think that's close enough. And here. Here. All right. And I think the rest of these are all right. So I think that adds a bit more neighborhood feel to the area. It's a heck of a pothole, but especially in this area, but I can relate. One of the streets I have to drive on regularly for work, I'd say that actually might be a better street. There's a period of smoothness somewhere in there, which the road I drive on does not have. All right, so nice. So we can see that our parking lot's filling up, which is exactly what we wanted to see. So we have our roadways kind of connected here. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, I see. That semi. Our Walmart semi blocking the road. All right, perfect. So we've kind of added, and as you can see, like these houses tend to be a little bit older looking, you know, and they kind of fit that like old home feel. I think it just looks much better than some of the homes that we had in this. You this person enjoys blocking themselves off from their neighbors. But I think this is the type of home you might actually find in a little area like this. And there happens to be another one right across the street and around it. So not a whole lot of diversity, but still, I think this looks much better than what we had going on before. And same thing with the commercial. You can see they're kind of that old brick square that you'd see in kind of a small town. But then on the other side, we have a little bit more contemporary. Taco Bell, barbecue. Definitely need a gas station for folks. So I think that looks pretty good. So very happy with the way this has turned out so far. One of the things, as the city continues to grow and develop, I was hoping to see a little bit more commercial need, but what we end up with here is, because we had to go through and clear out some of this commercial, as that fills in, it actually keeps our need fairly low. Same with our residential, but our industrial continues to grow and need more love. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually come out here. We're going to grab that fire station we talked about earlier. And let's see. We'll put you there. I like this fire station. I think this fits an industrial area fairly well. Just that kind of more brick industrial look. And we'll grab a police station as soon as I can find it. And I have one. There it is. I think this one's one of my favorite police stations. This is the B2B small police station. And I really like the look of this for an industrial area as well. No bells and whistles, just get the job done. And then we'll give it a medical clinic. And I think we use this one in town. We'll go ahead and use this one here as well. It's a smaller, more industrial look to it. Although, let's see. You know what? We might actually use that one instead. Desert Springs Medical Center. It doesn't really fit the aesthetic, but I think we'll let it pass. So with all of this work in here, all of the people working in here, I think one of the things we need is a parking lot for them to be able to park. And as you'll come to find out, I really, really enjoy my parking lot assets. Let's see, straight line. Let's come in here and let's grab you. All right, so we'll fill that in, but let's come in here, grab our node controller. And that helps kind of do that. We'll square that up. Now, one of the things, if the nodes are too close like this, when traffic goes through, they can slow way down. So I like to bring it out just a little, give them some room. If they see the node is too close, I've had it where the traffic will actually slow down and can cause congestion because they can't get through the way they think they should be able to get through. Same thing here. We'll bring that out just a hair. And I know there's a double crosswalk there, but that's all right. And then we'll fill in this area with our pavement path. So let's make sure so we're not snapping. We turn off grid and road guidelines. And we're just going to bring this all the way down to there. And kind of fill that in. And then they can walk along there if they need to. Looks like we're not quite level, which, if I'm not mistaken, is going to create some issues when we actually go to put the parking lots down. Let's see. Now, it looks like the road itself may be level, even if it's at an angle. So, we'll do that, and then, let's see, 3 is too big, so we'll fill in with our little filler spots here. And then we'll grab our single to get the edges. Then we're going to go through and turn off parking. But before I do that, we have that gap there where it didn't quite line up. But we can solve that. And we'll bring that into I'd like to get 10.5. There we go. That looks better. So now that we have our massive parking lot here for all workers industrial, we need to turn off parking on the roads. I certainly do not want any parking on the main roads. Just seems, I don't know why they'd want to park on the main roads anyway, but the Cims and City Skylines, they will do that. So we're just going to turn off parking pretty much everywhere. This will force them to have to use the parking lot that we put in, which I think will be better all the way around anyway. So almost there. And then once we get this done, we can try and meet that industrial demand. All right, and one more. All right, perfect. So now our roads are clean except for the traffic moving through them, and everybody's parking in the parking lot as they should. Perfect. So let's come over here and grab some more of our industrial, and we'll just give them some more to grow with. I'm going to speed this up so they'll fill in a little bit faster. And let's see, it's going to have a pretty sizable effect. While we're doing that, I noticed with the parking that they could actually park all along here if they wanted to, and I do want to prevent that. Now they can't park along that road, which is fine, or any of those roads, but they can park along kind of the main streets here, which I'm okay with. I think that adds to it a little bit. They can park on these roads. So, all right, so we got our roads filled in here. We've got some brick roads, we've got some grass-lined roads, we've got trees. I really do like the look of the trees, although let's see, we're more of a pine area here. So let's see, let's come over here to Bob. And let's grab Bob here and our trees. And let's find a good small pine that we can put in. We can put in here. So we have not that one. That's way too tall. That's not bad, but that is hideous as all. Wow, no. A little too thin. That's not bad, though it is a little small. Let's see. Yeah, I think we'll go with this one. So let's replace that. And let's see what we think here. Yeah, I think those pines, I mean, they blend in well with the background. I want to see real quick, what are you? You are a Douglas fir, and what are you? You are a Douglas fir 027M. You know what? I think we're going to switch to that one. So come back to Bob. Let's grab this and revert. And then we're going to do Douglas fir. Wow, I have quite a few of those. I see, they scale in size. So that's the size of them, 7 meters. I think we'll actually go with that one. Yeah. No, I think that's much better. It fits the aesthetic of the area. You know, the more natural looking trees that are in the area. That is way better. All right, so let's see. How close are we to our next milestone? 4,800. Oh, we're getting close. We should hit that here shortly. But I already like the fact that you can see the difference in the two areas as far as their aesthetic goes, which is really nice, and that's really what I was going for. So I think once we hit that, we're having a pretty significant residential demand, which is unsurprising given how much industry we just added. Um, although, let's see here. Let's see what our notification icons are telling us. Do we have anything we need to be aware of? Fire. Looks like we've got not enough educated workers. We are having an elementary school shortage. How close are we on that? So we have that one over there and that one there. And we're about 100, 150 shy. Let's see if we can just fix that. Let's just go here and we'll crank our education budget. And that should take care of a good chunk of that. Yeah, so that gives us a little bit more capacity there. Take a minute before the not enough educated workers comes into play. It looks like well educated, so that's what is that high school? I think that's probably uneducated, elementary, high school, and then college. Okay, so it's a high school issue, but they'll work their way through eventually. And then you have not enough customers, so all right, so I think what we can do, kind of solve some of our residential demand, is we'll bring out our roadways here. Let's go grab our big suburban lanes, and I think we'll bring out some more residential kind of in this area to kind of help fill that demand. So let's see, if we bring this off this way, bring you out there, and then we'll continue like this for just a little while. I don't want to go too far out. I don't want to get out. I kind of like to leave this area open for the time being in case we need to develop in there later. And then we can bring you out like that. And we'll bring this out. We'll leave this area fairly open for the school. So let's come out to there. And then let's turn our road guidelines because I want to see exactly where I need to connect in here without messing that up. Perfect. All right. And then we'll just come out like this. And then we'll come out here, and then we'll connect with some curved roads. There we go. That'll give us a little bit more residential, and then we'll bring it back just a hair. So let's kind of build you out. Turn off our road guidelines, keep to our grid. Thinking I just kind of want this to come out about in this area without being, overly populated. So we'll bring you out, you up, and then we'll come over, and then we'll bring same thing here, and then we'll come over. Where's my road guidelines? There we go. Bring that down. Oh, hey, perfect. All right, so let's see. What do we got here? We have our interstates. Looking for my specific unmarked 2-lane road. That's tiny 2-lane road. There it is. There's the big roads, the big urban road 2-lane. I think that's what I want to put over in the brick area. But we have any number of roads we now have access to, as well as some of the larger amenities. Let's see, city planning policies and some specializations. So I think that'll work out well for us. So if we bring you over there, then we're going to bring you out down just to create a little bit of diversity in our in our planning. Again, road guidelines off because now they're creating some issues. And now I want to back on. This is the fun thing with road guidelines is you end up with a somewhat of a love-hate relationship with these things. So there we go. And we'll just bring you in. We won't connect you. And then I think we can bring that one straight over. Perfect. So next step, I will fill in some water pipes. All right, water pipes are in and we are ready to populate with some residents. Now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to extend Crescent Square over here so that we can, and this will kind of be the end of, at least for the time being, of this little town, kind of the city limits of this little town. You know, we don't necessarily need this starter town to get too big just yet. You know, eventually it will naturally develop, naturally grow, populate, you know, as we, you know, increase our density over time. But I think we'll kind of call this the city limits of it. So let's go in here and fill in our, not industrial. Let's fill in our residential space and get some of that population going. Kind of feed the need that we have. And looking at this, I'm actually going to come in. I want to, because our power needs now no longer require this power line. I like the look of this power line, I really do. But because they no longer require it, I think we're actually going to get rid of it right over here next to the, and this one runs to the parking lot. So we'll actually back that off. Well, you know what? I think we'll just get rid of it in general. I don't really see a whole lot of need for it. So let's back this off. This was originally just to power the school, but if we leave it, it's going to mess with our zoning here, and I don't want to do that. And actually, I think I want to leave some space. We'll come in here. That's probably too much zoning there, but let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of back to there, and we'll fill in this over here. And then we'll also start filling in and getting the waterfront view filled in for folks so that they can actually come in and enjoy it. Then we'll fill in our residents along this road as well. That may not always stay that way, and that's fine. You know, we may eventually upgrade and upgrade that road and turn it into kind of a through street, depending on where we want to take this one, and how we grow. You know, because in the future, you know, this could be a great access point for a rail station, you know, to bring outside tourists or to help transport inner city folks into the city, you know, for tourism purposes. So I actually want to back, not that, just enough. Yeah, we'll back you off to there. And we're getting that tearing again, but let's see if we can fix that using these roads. Oh, almost. There we go. And I think that's good enough. Stretch a tile set too far and it's just gonna fall apart. So we'll fill in that. That'll give us a little bit more of our need for residential demand. And I want to make sure we've got our city services covered. So let's look at medical. No, it looks like we do have a pretty big need for medical. Let's see. So maybe let's consider that the high school might have a little medical clinic. There's a little ambulance station, just in case, for student activities, sporting events. Let's see. We'll put that back there. Little ambulance station, just a little medical center, help all the students if there's an issue. Maybe used for some storage at some point. So let's take a look and see. Oh, we need water. And we did all our water pipes with the exception of this because we didn't expect traffic to run along here. But that's okay, we can fix that pretty quickly. All right, and that should take care of that. Puts that in operation. What's the rest of our medical look like? Think maybe another clinic somewhere. Let's see. That's the one we used in the industrial. This one we've used. Here's a smaller little clinic that I think we can use that will work. We'll put that one. I think if we plop that right there, then I'll get rid of that zoning. I think that works out pretty well. It's just a little medical clinic, maybe a house, a larger home turned into a medical office for a doctor. And let's see, what do we have for funeral services? Wow, we don't have anything for funeral services, so our dead people are just gonna stay where they lay. I don't like that, but I think if we come in, let's put you there. What's that look like from? Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's see, can we come in here? Let's see if we can smooth this out a little bit, make it look a little nicer. That's pretty large, a little larger than I'd like. Bring this back. It's still pretty rough there. Let's see if we can, let's shift you, see if we shift you over. There we go. That looks a little bit better. And then we'll do the same thing, just kind of clean that up a little bit. So it doesn't look so jarring. There we go. And then funeral home downtown. And then let's look and see what else do we have over here. Funeral services. There's only 3 deceased. I mean, that funeral home's actually going to be able to service most of the area, but I think we probably ought to have something a little closer to the rest of the community. Let's see. There we go. And then funeral home there, and that could be a family-owned funeral home, which is why it was given permission to be so close to the school, as well as they can utilize the parking lot for funeral services. So then, what do we have? We have pretty good on fire, except we need some more fire down here, and we have this pretty looking firehouse right here. And I really like the look of that. It's small, but it does its job. And it kind of fits that old town aesthetic. How does that do for our fire coverage? Pretty good. High school's still a little out of the way. Hopefully we We don't have anybody burning down the high school anytime soon, though. And then police coverage. Let's see. So we use that one as our city center, is almost like our town hall. This can be an old school. So where I grew up, there was an old school. They turned an old elementary school, probably only like a 100-student elementary school, into, it was out in the country, situated along like a rural highway and a country road, and they actually turned it into an additional police station slash jail. And I think, maybe having something like that here, where like they came in and redid this school, or created this school in this space, but they may have had, an older school that they were looking to replace. So we'll put that one maybe here at the corner. And that gives us, what was like an older small school is now a police station. So that gives us coverage there. Education, we're still pretty low on our capacity for our elementary school, but I think it's fine, as the population, most of the population's new, because we went through and cleared everything out. So as they age out, I don't think we'll have an issue. We can get, and that's actually not a bad idea, in the city center, having a public library space. So let's take a look here and see where that would fit and look at least halfway decent, I think, in this area. So we may actually move. That's what we may do here. Let's see what happens. So I'm gonna move this real quick. Let's just move you over there for now. Let's get rid of you and you, and let's grab, let's see, so that's 2-lane. Let's grab our 2-lane. See, I want something. All right, we're gonna do a lined road here. Actually, since we're gonna continue this, let's continue this road. And let's upgrade you, and we'll remove the 2-lane or the 2-way restriction here. And then we'll bring this further down here. And one of the things that actually allows us to do is continue our brick road over to that road. All right, I think that looks pretty good. And then since we have our big blank road, we can upgrade it. See, that just adds, it gives it some tapering there, adds the sidewalks, while still being, we're going to pause so I can turn off collision and not destroy all these homes along the curved road. Gives us a wider road. We'll have parking. And I think it just looks better than that narrower, unpaved or unmarked paved road. All right. So, and I know I got sidetracked here from what we were working on. We'll get back to that shortly. Just want to kind of tidy these up and make them fit and look better. All right, I think that's all of them. Let's tidy up our zoning real quick. Fix you, fix here. All right. And I think that's really the only zoning that was messed up by that. All right, so coming back here, if we grab our fun road here, we'll grab not our contemporary, we'll grab our main road, and we can bring this one back like that. This can give us some more city space to work with, because oh, see, now that's what I get for leaving collision on. Let's go through and upgrade this, get rid of those trees. Don't think we had any issue along with those. Okay, so this gives us a little bit more space to work with. We can move our, we're going to take this out and we'll slope these. And then we're going to move you and you to that height. So, and then I think what we'll do is we'll come over here to our parking lot road, and we're going to have to turn off grid, road length. We'll leave angle on for now. We're going to grab an access road. And let's see, can I bring you? Come on. Maybe if I get grid. You're not gonna let me do it, are you? No, because you want to come. You want to come there. All right, so we can bring that right there. And I think we bring this one up just a hair. It won't make that look too bad, and that's not too steep of a slope. All right, so let's grab our fire station. Nope, don't want to move it. And we can relocate our fire station. We can even put it there so it connects appropriately to that spot. So now they can come out, get on this little stretch here, and go wherever they need to. But that also then gives us space to put in our public library. And this thing, I really like the look of this building. And I think it needs to be, you know, one of those things where you'd have, we'll put that there, where you'd have a decent parking lot with it. Again, you know, it's probably something similar to this, where folks can come, and we may even actually wrap the parking lot all the way around. So if we bring this up, let's turn on our road guidelines, and then we bring that over. What's that look like on the back side? Yeah, see, I really like the look of that. So let's just make sure everything is square as it should be. So the roads look fine. And then let's grab our parking lots. All right, so you, and probably have to do something like this. There we go. And then if we come back up here, let's go to node controller, and let's just bring you in ever so slightly to make that look better. Perfect. And then we'll come back over here, and you're too big. It's fine. We'll grab, I think, right there. And hey, that one actually fits pretty well. And then I'm not really going to do anything with node controller there, because I think that actually looks pretty good. So that gives us our city center, you know, kind of our municipal city services kind of structures. But the one thing we are missing, and I went here a lot as a kid, and I think a lot of folks did, is actually we're missing a post office, a good old-fashioned post office. And for me, the post office needs to be on the corner. And so I think that post office right there on the corner kind of just says, hey, like city services, we come back here, we're kind of in our municipal area, and it's growing and developing in a more reasonable expansion as we slowly add to it over time. And I think it feels more organic, feels more natural. You know, eventually we may add some more commercial structures back there as well. But I think for the time being, that looks fairly good. We may end up moving the water tower just to see if it fits in a better location. Maybe more. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do that right now. I think we'll put it next to the fire station. So let's put that right there. That way, if we need to come off the other direction for any reason, we can. So let's connect our water line. We'll just go ahead and run this around here because we'll need it. All right, so that looks good there. We'll get the game running again. And have all of our city services. I really do like the look of that. I think we cover a fairly decent area of space. I like the look of the brick. I think we've done good work here today. We're growing over here. We did not get to the commercial area over here, which I think we will still get to, but it'll probably have to be next episode, maybe a little bit later, as our population kind of fills out and the demand for commercial space grows. I'd like to actually build like a little strip mall over here, rather than any sort of just gridded off commercial zoning. I'd like to have it a little more unique, a little more aesthetic into it there. So, but yeah, so I think that does it for this episode. If you have any comments, have any suggestions, I'd love to hear what you guys think we need to work on next. Leave those in the comments down below. Again, always open to, right now we're First City with our districts kind of named as they are. Those are open for naming as well if you have any ideas. And so with that, I'd like to thank you for joining me. If you like the video, please do hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell if you want to see the next episode when it comes out. So thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful evening.